to talk to you today about an industry trend where shipping and all of this e-commerce is shifting from boxes. We're seeing cardboard boxes all over conveyors to poly bags like this. And some of the challenges that these can create for photo eyes, especially. This industry trend isn't going to stop. We know that more and more packages are being shipped by bag, and we need to adapt our warehouses and our conveyors to be able to deal with those. So I'll jump into my demo here. Specifically, I want to show this sensor right here. It's a Ray 26 array sensor from SICK. But there's also a couple of other options that we can do when we're trying to detect a poly bag consistently, where we might have been able to do it in the past with a cardboard box really easily with a simple photo eye. So I've got kind of the old solution here, new solution right next to each other. And I want to kind of show how this could be different. Essentially what it breaks down to is these poly bags don't always come through perfectly straight. If it comes through perfectly straight like this, then we could get a photo eye, line it up right on that front end, and we're going to be able to detect it every time. But as they start to bend and warp in packaging, you'll see some, if they're loaded up with an object inside, you kind of have that inconsistent leading edge there. That can cause some problems. If we don't detect the front of a package and we try to divert that package, we might get some spin-offs, we might not accurately divert that package. We also might have to put some extra buffer in our diverts. Rather than package plus one shoe, now we're gonna do package plus two shoes. Where if you knew consistently exactly where that leading edge was and the trailing edge, then you can minimize the number of sorts you gotta do, the number of shoes you have to use on each sort, and you can kind of maximize the throughput, maximize the efficiency of your sorter. Get those packages spaced more tightly together because you know without a shadow of a doubt where that front edge is and the trailing edge is. All right, let's get into the demonstration. There's a number of different products that can give you that laser line light spot rather than a single photo eye, that you would have more consistent detection across a package that's kind of got an irregular front. The first one is, as I mentioned, the Ray 26 that we're going to demo today on this screen here versus a standard photo eye. But there's more options that we can give. There's basic light grids that can be mounted sender and receiver, and they're basically a stack of photo eyes on either side of the conveyor that you can be looking at. You could use this guy that is a brand new sensor we're launching later this year. It's called the Roller Sensor Bar. You'll see it's got a spring-loaded mounting bracket there, and it actually drops down in between the rollers and looks up for a package. And so we've got a number of photo eyes here. You can see this one's got 3 photo eyes spaced out across this bar to give us reliable detection of packages as they come over at different spots on that conveyor. So makes it a little bit easier to see those thin edges that you would see in the bubble packages like this. Another solution from SICK is this guy down here. This is an R sensor, it's a roller sensor. This is one that mounts again below the rollers and it looks up kind of at an angle. We'll have an animation on the screen to show you what that light spot looks like. But this looks off, it doesn't need a reflector, and it sees anything kind of on this 50-60% of the conveyor, that side of the conveyor. It's going to see anything because we've got that angle and a big line that's going out of the sensor. So we'll jump into the demonstration here. What we're doing is we've got 2 cameras up here. We call them our event cams. One event camera is being triggered by a basic photo eye, and the other one is being triggered by the Ray 26. So we've got basic photo eye, single round light spot, and then the Ray 26 is again that laser line light spot. And we'll show detection with both the cardboard box, because that's what we're used to today, and we're probably not seeing many issues with the cardboard box. But I want to illustrate how these kinds of packages, poly bags or different irregular shapes, can start to give us issues, might start to cause us jams, might start to force us to have bigger gaps in between packages so that we can be certain that we're dealing with the poly bag that we're seeing. And it also might allow a package to not be seen until it goes and touches another one, and then you've got a piggyback to deal with. So there's many different things that could cause, or that many different issues that this could cause, and we could fix it with just a basic array type photo eye. Okay, so what we're looking at first here is, you'll see on this screen, I can trigger the images. Right now we're looking at images coming from our ray sensor. And so if I go ahead and put a box on the conveyor, you'll see that come by. We've got our leading edge detection just at the front edge of this bar right here, this roller. So we want to see, again, consistent detection. Ideally, we would see this over millions of packages coming by, and that's actually part of the testing that we did when we developed the Ray 26 sensor. We had poly bags and we shot them down a conveyor with a high-speed camera to see where that leading edge was varying, and from package to package over millions of cycles, like you would see in a standard sort day. Okay, so there's just three basic looks at it. Now we'll go into our irregular shaped bags, so we can play with that a little bit. We all know how much those are going to change over time in a distribution facility. Again, our detection point is right in the center of that first roller. Do the same over here. There we got just over about half the roller. Again, right in the center of the roller. This one, we're going to expect really consistent detection, so I'm not going to play with this one too much. Maybe we'll do a speed up montage. Then I'll pause here for a second as I switch over to look at our other camera that's being triggered by a basic photo eyes. And now we'll start with a cardboard box. Again, very easy. So center of the bar, we're seeing consistent detection. That's what we're used to seeing today. That's what we've been doing for years and years. A little bit over the bar, but not too far. Again, this one's not going to have the exact same trigger point as the Ray 26, just because it is a little bit behind it. So we'll be aiming for kind of that 3/4 point through the bar as our center point. Little bit of inconsistency in a standard photo eye, but that's what you're going to expect in these low-cost ones. There we go, right at the leading edge of the bar. Okay, now we'll jump into bags, objects like this. I could run this little guy down here, but the Z sensor is actually set up a little bit too high, so it won't see it at all. Again, that's a concern. Maybe your operators can go through and drop them down to be able to see this guy, but then as this one comes through at a higher angle on the other side, it's going to miss more of this package before it sees it. So it's that give and take, that balance that you want to kind of deal with. So again, we'll run this package. Here, we're triggering at halfway point through the roller. Probably pretty consistent detection there. Not too worried about that one. There, we're over the roller a little bit. Again, not too worried. So center point right here. There's a bouncing package. We're almost to our second roller here. If you're doing a sort there, that could get caught, spin your package off the conveyor or to the wrong spot, or cause a jam. Again, there we're getting closer to the second roller. There's pretty good switching. Not a major issue there. There, we're almost through our second roller completely. Okay, so again, think about this. I've done maybe 5 or 10 detections here. If you're going to be running thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of packages, this issue is going to be compounded, and we want to make sure, especially at your critical points. You don't have to do it all the way throughout your distribution facility, but as you're coming into sorters, as you're going into induct lanes even, or if you're going across right angle transfers, those kinds of things, those critical spots, it does make sense to upgrade from a single point photo eye to that laser line that we talked about. There you go. This obviously is a little bit exaggerated. We're dealing with pretty big rollers here and smaller packages. But be thinking about this. If you do care about spacing your packages tighter and tighter together, you're going to need consistent leading edge and to trailing edge, really, detection of all those packages so that you can be confident in the gap that you have between the packages. So as you're going through, again, Ray 26 is our small laser line. We have a smaller variant even still. This one's a 2-inch line. We've got a smaller one that's a 1-inch line called our Ray 10. There's a couple other features in that sensor, but really what I want to get across today is the industry is clearly moving from boxes to polybags, and there's some challenges that we want to address and SICK can be your partner in finding the best way to deal with those challenges and prevent any issues further down the line. All right, thank you.